Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck.
Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift, here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over 2 dozen books between us, and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our mastery through missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way. This week we're talking about how our community building is progressing. But first, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to say this is a win even though technically it's tomorrow. So should be my win of next week, but I'm doing it today because tomorrow is my birthday, so that's my win. I feel like it's come about too fast, but I still am very excited for the fact that it's my birthday because I like to be spoilt like a princess and I like presents a lot. So
I feel like we just went to Alton Towers for your last birthday.
It
is very
incredible that it was a year ago. I've still got the balloons that got put up for my birthday. I decided to leave them for as long as possible, so I have very deflated balloons still attached to the ends of my curtain pole, and I just decided I'll just leave them up for the year. So tomorrow I'll be taking them off, but I had balloons up for a year, just like sad sacks of purple plastic.
Depression balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every time I look at them, they make me happy, so I left them. But yeah, It has been a year since Alton Towers, which is crazy. I don't want to think about it. And my other win is that I'm like doing some ad stuff at the moment because I've got a book coming out next month, well, like tomorrow month, and I have been doing all like ad preps and things like that. And I put my books on 99p sale / 99 cents sale, and then even though I haven't told anyone that I've done that, I was just pre-doing it to be a good girl. I got a flurry of sales through, which felt like, obviously not making really any money on those, but still it was like a fun thing to see that did something. You know, it's like just a nice example of doing stuff.
It does lots. It tells Amazon who read your books. They push out more organic, they push out to people. It will do stuff. Yeah.
So that was just like a really fun thing to see. Like, oh, I pulled a lever and something happened. So I've got ads starting tomorrow to try and then also get people to buy the book in a paid way as well. So I'm feeling very much like I'm not in control of stuff, but I feel like I'm holding on to the string of a kite, and it's like if you feel like you've got control, but you actually don't, you're just attached to the thing that's being buffeted around by the wind. That's the feeling. It's like it's exciting, and I'm just holding on to something that's going to do something I have no control over.
You're holding on,
but I'm holding on, and I'm excited.
Okay.
Is that how about you?
Wins and whinges?
That's it. I have no whinges because it's my birthday tomorrow, so I can't whinge.
Like you, I also have a win for the future, which I realised just as I was about to read the intro, is that we were due to have the next podcast. We alternate who does the intro. The next podcast is going to be you introing after our mastermind day. But
oh no!
I'm not a mastermind. I'm not a Machiavellian. But because of SBS and because of our travel plans for that, we're actually going to record 2 podcasts next week. And that means that I will get to do the podcast intro and I'll get to do the wins and whinges straight after mastermind day. Amazing.
We'll see about that.
Is that true?
We'll see about that.
No, it's the wrong way.
I don't think that's how it's going to work.
I'm devastated. I don't understand.
If it means that much.
No, I want to win legitimately. So now, This is a win, but it's a whinge. The whinge is that I foiled myself from having mastermind day as my win. Fine. I'm going to say it's as a future one. My win is mastermind day. I love it. It's great. It changed my life. I predict that already.
Yeah.
I'm
so sorry to take that away from you.
I know. It's good though. I wouldn't really hold on to it for a week for excitement and then get there and it was not mine. Devastating though. Actual wins. I I'm researching new genres, as I've been doing for a while. It feels like ages. It feels like really dawdly, but actually it has been really useful and good, and I'm hoping it's actually going somewhere. It has felt productive, researching new genres. And I read a phenomenal book as part of it. And it's a book I would not say is like, it's the best book I've ever read, like as in, oh, you've got to read this, it'll change your life. It's the best book I've ever read in terms of the structure of it. Like, it is a masterclass in terms of how to structure a book, because it's a cozy fantasy book. And a lot of cozy fantasy books are very funny, or they've got an interesting conceit in the way they're written, like they're written by letters, or they're written in a diary form. Like, often they have a lot of voiciness to them. And this one really doesn't. Like, it's a very straight fantasy tone. And it's got the... And this writer, I think that's his intention. I've heard him talk on the podcast. It's like the parts in between the battles of a fantasy, of a high fantasy book, on purpose. And so it's about, as cozy fantasy often are, they've finished being the big warrior, and they go to set up a business in a small little community to relax. And this person does that, and almost nothing happens in a wonderfully delightful way. It feels not boring at all. It feels like you're just being like flowing down a quiet, gentle river. It feels lovely, but loads of stuff does happen, and lots of stuff comes back, and structurally it is very, very well done. So I'm going to recommend this book to anyone who wants to read a book to figure out, like, because not a lot is happening big, you can see the structure quite clearly if you're reading for that. So a lot of people that the character meets early on, or who say important things early on, it comes back at the end in an incredibly satisfying way. So it is Cursed Cocktails, and I've had to look this person's name up several times because it's quite a generic name. It's a boy name. Sorry to that man. It is S.L. Rowland, which I will put in the show notes in case I've forgotten the actual name again. It's just a, not a memorable name. That's fine. Not all boys have memorable names.
No.
But strong recommendation for the book Cursed Cocktails. The writing is lovely. He's mostly a lit RPG writer. And according to the podcast I listened to today, he is the inspiration for a character in Dungeon Crawler Carl. So full circle to what I referenced recently.
We both seem to be really into lit RPG.
I know.
Which is...
But this is not lit RPG. This is definitely cozy fantasy, but the world is telling us something.
Yeah.
But yeah, such an intro, and so enjoyable to read a book where you're just like, oh, I love being able to enjoy the book and also read the mechanics very well, and like enjoy both levels. So yes, that's my win of the week, that I read a really enjoyable and useful book that I got a lot out of. The book that I'm reading today, that was yesterday's book, today's book, is not as enjoyable. I feel like it's trying to do too many things at once. It's trying to be too many things at once, but it's like nice and instructive to see that as well, to see that in comparison to a really artfully well done book. So I would say that's still a win. It's reading a book that I don't think is as good as yesterday's book. Other wins and whinges, I've started putting all my admin off to Saturdays. This is a win. Putting all my admin off to Saturdays and doing co-working, and feeling like it's like a race against the clock to see how much admin can I get out of the way in 3 hours of our co-working time, which we'll talk a bit more about later, but like absolutely stormed it this week. Got so many things I didn't want to do out the way. And it's like a free little pocket of secret time that is not me experiencing it. So yes, fantastic. And then other things, just been having a really nice week. I went to like an extra roller skating, went to like a neon roller skating disco.
I saw a picture, it looked fantastic.
It was so cool. Yeah. And just like it's been sunny and nice, and went to the gym, had some croissants. That sort of week.
That sounds like a very good week, because I forgot that this was the week where it was really sunny. This is like, I don't understand how time is going right now. So we've had amazing weather in the UK this week, and it has been like summer temperatures, but in May, which has been a little bit scary, but I'm just loving it. So I love the sunshine. I love being hot. I will never complain about being too hot. It has been my favourite week so far of the year, just because I've been outside, and I went and I'm currently doing a little bit of slow research for like genres and stuff. So I'm reading some genre-specific books, and I took myself out at lunchtime, left Juno with my co-workers like at work. It's like, I'm just going to leave Juno here because I'm going to go and find a spot to read out in the sun. And I went and found a bench, and I sat and read a book for like 45 minutes on a bench in the sun, and felt like it was my best life. Like,
Mhm.
like, to everyone who lives in sunny places and you don't appreciate it, I hate you. No, I'm joking. Like, I hate you so much. No, I guess we appreciate it more because we don't have it all the time. But this has felt like one
Yeah.
of those weeks where I'm walking around and thinking, oh, my life's great. I couldn't be happier. Everything's going so well. Yeah,
Can I say, if
two
somebody has lived
musical
in sunny countries
quotes.
quite a lot, is like, I really appreciated it. Really, like, you'd be like, you can go out and have a picnic at lunch today, every day. And it's great
Yeah.
every day. And even when it's too hot, you can be like, I can go in the aircon and it's lovely. Yeah, people who
Mm.
don't appreciate the sun are wrong.
Yes, they are wrong.
And they're missing out. We haven't got a chatty intro today because I think it's a relatively short topic, so we just kind of want to catch up on something. So I also want to make another recommendation that, as part of my research, I discovered a phenomenal blog. And they also have a podcast that I haven't listened to yet, but I am going to. And it's going to sound like I've got a list when I say this, because it's not a good thing to say out
It's
loud.
a difficult thing to say.
I know. It's mythcreants. So imagine the word myth, but combined with miscreants. Mythcreants. I'll put it in the show notes. But every article in that blog, it's so well written and it's so well considered, and it's very broad scale things. It's not really just about fantasy. It's just a lot of analysing why books work. It compares books with each other as well and talks about like why this one they work better than that one. And all the examples are kind of from fantasy because it's that's the genre it's based around. But you will know plenty of the references, so it's fine. I would strongly recommend the blog to that. They've got the concept on there of ants, ANTS. They're like how you analyze and compare different books and analyze like whether a book's going to connect with a reader and like ways to think about it. But even the articles that are not really about a big topic, they're just really well written and well considered, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I know you had sent me a message saying, "I'm sure you know about this," and I'm like, "No, I don't know. I've never heard of this." I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to diving into all the blog posts and listening to the podcast because I miss that part of the internet where people write blogs.
Yeah,
Like it seems like it feels, just from the look of it, it feels like the early mid to late 2000s, probably best, like mid to late 2000s blogging, which was the golden era of in the internet and blogging. So I'm really looking forward to
that's how
pretending.
I felt when I came across the article. So like this person has gone for it, like really, really. It's as if they've made their own. Like they were like, they take it as serious. Like they made their Wikipedia from scratch. They were like, I'm going all in this. I'll write page and page on this thing, and it'll all be interesting and well considered and well researched. Delightful.
Yeah, because I love Substack, but I get the idea of Substack. This is going off on a tangent. We really are just killing time here. I love the idea of Substack because you can see a lot of different topics in one place. But I love the commitment of somebody making a website specifically for a thing. I feel like everyone would tell you not to do it because you're limiting your reach. Although obviously you can like put things on other places anyway. But I love the fact that they've made a website for it and not just decided to put it where everyone else is. It's like, no, we're staking our claim on the internet here. And it
feels a bit like
makes me really happy.
Podcast. Like it feels like someone making it for their own research. So then you're like having a little peek into someone else's, like how they think about their genre and how they work on it. And it's delightful.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to read it. And we should really get into the topic because we're putting it off. So today we are talking about community building because we talked about community building a month ago. But we're coming back around to the topic. And why are we doing that?
Yeah, so we have been doing community building obviously for ages. We talked about this a month ago, saying we started our Discord after maybe a year or a year and a half of running the podcast, and then we've been just building a community there, and then we've added in paid tiers. So I think a month felt like a good time to look back on it and just see, has it been what we thought it would be, what's been difficult, what's been easy, what's been fun, just so people can kind of get a sense of the reality of it. Because I think often when someone's trying a new experiment, they talk about like, I'm going to do this, it's going to be great. And that's actually been an interesting thing when I've been listening to podcasts recently from cozy fantasy authors. I literally like, I listen to anything on it because I learn my podcast a lot of the time. So I listen to anything on it just to get some information in. And they'll be so enthusiastic. They'll talk about like having done loads of research and really planned out a series. And they sound incredibly knowledgeable. And they sound as if they've put out dozens of books. And then you go to look at their Amazon info, and they did like one book, the one they talked about in the podcast, and then no more. So I think it is good accountability to come back to something. And so we'll come back after a month just to kind of talk about our initial thoughts on it, and then we'll come back after a few months to kind of go back to that as well. So yeah, that's why we think there's not going to be a huge amount to talk about today. It's not a revelation topic, but it's just kind of an accountability to see if you're thinking of setting your own community, you want to join ours, you're wanting to just get an understanding of how they work. How's the first month been?
Yeah, and I think that we have done a good job. I am saying pats ourselves on the back. Although, from personal patting myself on the back experience, I thought I'd done a really good job. And then there was like a weird fun glitch.
Tech glitch.
And there's like a bit of fun tech glitch where somebody who isn't in all of the tiers keeps having all of the tiers applied to their account. And I keep getting notifications saying added back on, and then I keep having a mental breakdown. So that's been fun to see. Like the tech part, I think, just to start from like the ground level, the tech part has been probably the hardest part of the whole thing. Because
that's not my part then.
Which you haven't done. Yeah, which you haven't done.
You make it look very easy, if that's how to know.
I'm glad that it looks easy, and it was just one of those things where, you know, when you set something up and you have to start linking things. So we do it through Coffee, where you sign up through Coffee, but then you get access to the Discord. So the thing that you sign up for,
an integration where it's got an API link.
It integrates into Discord. So there are roles set up, and it assigns roles and things. And that has been really fun because it feels like I've done something fun and techy, but I also don't understand. I've kind of done stuff and then forgotten what I've done, and now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, but why did I do that in the first place? I must have done it for a reason. Anyway, that's been a really fun part. So if you're like a techie person, or you like fiddling around with like settings and stuff, and we've got bots doing things, that's been a real fun part because it feels like I'm in the machine. I am the machine. I'm in the Matrix, and I'm just like Neo hacking at a computer. That's been a really fun part, to not even talk about the community. It's just like the physical building of the community and stuff has been really fun.
Which I think is good to touch on, because I think that everything that really put me off is figuring out, like, how do I connect these things together? And when we first started talking about it, we really didn't have a set idea of how we were going to do it. Like, oh, do we have to set up a new thing? Like, maybe we have to set up Patreon, but we didn't really want to have people in somewhere else. And then I think this is where it's especially helpful having two people, and having one of those people just be like this probably work person. Like, and I'm always I don't think this will work, it's not going to work. And you were like, I bet Coffee's got something. I bet we can just do it with Coffee and it'll link into Discord. And it's like, that doesn't sound real. That's probably not a thing. And you're like, yeah, let's have a look. And it absolutely is a thing. And it does it. It's set up already. So then just looking at that, and then, because I think I definitely tend to, I think it's completely like being a perfectionist, like tend to think of like the finished polished product and then think, oh, it's going to take ages to get to there, and like there's so many steps to get to that, so I wouldn't even start something. If I was doing this by myself, I would have been really just like, oh, I don't even want to start it because it's going to be so big. But I think having someone who is like has a lot of starting energy and a lot of like can-do attitude, it's just like, probably find something easy that'll work.
That's how I got, like, how I've gotten everywhere I've gotten in life, is like being just thinking, I'm sure I can figure that out. That's how I got my job at my current job. They were just very happy to meet somebody who when asked if they could do something, said, I'm pretty sure I could. And they were like, great, you're hired. So I have that's such a built-in thing. And it's funny because even though I have the starter energy, I wouldn't have jumped into it as quickly as I did, but it's because I had you as the person I had to report to say that I'd done the work. So that really helped. But I do think it is easy to have somebody else doing other stuff, because you have been doing more of the admin-y stuff and more of the managing stuff rather than admin, like the actual managing of events and like the grown-up stuff, and I've been tinkering in the background. But
I think we did a lot of when we were talking together, like looking and making sure we had like specific dates down and had things planned through the month. I think that is something that I find quite easy, and I'm like, let's make sure this all makes sense during the month. Let's make sure we put a schedule out. Let's put the announcements out these dates. So that is definitely where it's helpful to have two quite different
Yes.
people work on something.
Yeah.
I would not do this alone. It would be work alone. Like, it would be unpleasant. And
yes.
we just split out the tasks so that we have enough things that are maybe one or two things that are unpleasant each. And like mostly it's like really pleasant stuff. So then you're like, yeah, I can do that. I can do the occasional to hard thing. And then we get this great community.
Yeah. And also, I know when I've looked at other people's communities in the past and I've seen, if they've got tiered systems and stuff, and you look at, because I know we did some research before we started this, and I was looking at somebody else's system and counting up the hours that it looked like it must have been taking them every week, every day, every month, and how much time that, if they were doing it themselves, which they might not be, how much time they were putting into it was like a full-time job. And I will say that I was worried at how much time we were going to be giving away of ourselves. And that is forever a struggle when you're already trying to squeeze in writing into your day, into your life.
And I do think we overcommitted for the first month, because we'd also planned to have, we've done workshops in the past, and we plan to have a workshop every month. And we're like, let's just start that rolling at the same time. And then partway through the month, we're like, we're not going to start that this month. Because that requires work of like creating the workbook in advance. And, then we have to go through it together, and then we have to plan what we're going to talk about, and then we have to do the session. And that actually is quite a lot of hours. And so like we can't do that as well as the other things, because we also had we started the bashing days this month, and we started co-working, which like I know ostensibly you were already doing, but like I think it's quite different to have to be definitely on the camera at a certain time and like leading a group through, let's get started, let's have some breaks.
But it's actually, we've done a good job, I think, so far the first month of not everything that we've chosen to do, everything that we're doing in the different tiers is stuff that we want to do. It's not like it actually hasn't been us piling on loads of work, which has been the best part of all the planning that we're doing, because everything that we have got on the schedule, everything that we're doing to do with co-working and bashing days and all of this stuff that we've got coming up is stuff that we actually /want/need to do for ourselves. So that feels like the best part, is everything that we do or we're doing is the stuff that we need to do to help us move along as well. So it's all very much focused on like the reality of what we're doing, like leveling up and trying
giving ourselves
to get everything done. Yes, and building good habits.
And some of it does take work that I think we wouldn't do otherwise, but probably that we should do otherwise. So, like bashing day is a good example, because bashing day we said like it's going to be a day a month where we do something that is like a big task, where everyone in the room will focus on that big task at the same time, which kind of gives you good energy, and the person leading it, either you or me, were alternating months, has to prep some content in advance. I had the first month down for me to do some kind of social media prep. As it got closer, I was like, oh, this is going to be work to make the content for it, to like make the document, to kind of lead people through it. It's going to be a lot of work. And I wasn't, we planned this a couple months ago, like I wasn't in a social media mood. It's not like I'm not even posting my social media at the moment because I'm thinking about new genre things. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's not relevant to me. But it is always relevant to you, right? And like I think I needed to really have a think about it and be able to not necessarily be bashing as in doing lots of prep content, but like looking into something that I've put off for a long time. So when I was making the document for people in advance, it just meant that I could collate things I already had that I knew that were useful, put in some things that I think I want to keep together for later when I'm doing something else. And then also a thing that I've needed to do for ages is Pinterest, to at least get myself like familiar with it and thinking about it. And in fact, me and someone else who attended the session, we both ended up spending a long time on Pinterest, just been like, actually, this is a thing that's like a long-term thing. And we're both at the right stage where we want to think about long-term rather than like immediate, let's get a load of posts up. And that was really useful. I've been thinking about Pinterest forever, and I would never have done it because there's no urgency. That's the thing with long-term things. There's no urgency on long-term things because long-term is always.
Yes.
And it can be started at any time.
Put it off. And it's funny because I only dropped into the bashing for like not even a very long time, because I was having a day where I was just all over the place. But ever since then, that bashing day actually re-triggered my whole idea about social media and scheduling stuff. And ever since then, I've had a schedule, and I've been getting little notifications saying, today's the day you're posting this. And I put it all in my calendar, and it triggered something because it seemed important, and you'd made the document, and I was reading through it, and I was like, this is like perfect time. Get all your posts scheduled, get everything in your calendar for everything you want to be posting. And
sometimes it's just like being in front of people.
Yes.
Because like last year when Canva did their update in Canva Pro, I saw something where they said, "Oh, you can post straight from Canva," and I don't care to do that. Like, as I don't have enough posting regularity of stuff from Canva to want to do that. But I mentioned it in an offhand manner in the group, and I was like, "Oh yeah, here's this." I was showing the person in the group what it was, and you had not seen that. That had just missed when they had the updates last year. You just missed that. It's like, but that's what you get from being in a group face to face. That's why we want to have bashing days, like just that little bit of knowledge sharing from being in actual conversation people, rather than everyone having to individually watch the same videos and only glean one thing from them each time.
And it's funny, when I posted something in the Discord to say, oh, I can't believe, I felt like I was the only person who didn't know that was a feature, and I posted in the Discord to say, it was probably like a no stupid questions thing. I can't remember which channel it was in. Like, I finally figured out posting from Canva. I've been such an idiot. I've never realized I could just go straight from Canva to Instagram. And I was so glad so many people were like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no one else seemed to have heard of it either.
I felt like I was so stupid. I really felt like an idiot for it. But that is the beauty of.
But it's like Canva, they never talk about their best features.
They don't. I know. They really hide so many good things. You have to be really looking for stuff. And I am also an eyes glazed over sort of person. If I'm just doing the same process over and over again, I'll just do the same process. I'll only look at the buttons I've only ever pressed, and never look at the other icons and things that are there. Because it's not like it's actually not hidden. You press share and it's got the Instagram logos right there. And I'm just
see that.
Straight to download. I just download everything. So many Canva posts downloaded to my computer and my phone for no reason. Absolutely no reason. So,
but there were so many things we talked about in that session when you weren't there about Pinterest that were just we both watched the same video, and it was quite an old one that I put in that was just the one that came up that was recommended really highly when I was searching for it. And then when I was watching that, I was like, oh, I'm sure they mentioned something else, and that made me go and look at a more recent video. And then that made me think about something else. I just posted more links in the chat. And it just felt like a real sharing session, knowledge sharing, rather than just sit by yourself and think, what should I do on Pinterest? And I'm number one learner and what's the other one that's not learner but basically learner? I like learning to teach something, and that really energizes me. And so actually I find it much easier to research something when I'm in communication with people about it, rather than just sitting by myself, because I could have done Pinterest at any time. And this was why I think for us community is really important, is we both have whatever that is really high up input, learner and input about depth and breadth, and we want to be learning stuff to share it and output it as well. And so that's why community really is important to us. It creates this energy where everyone keeps sharing stuff and everyone keeps building the knowledge, and it's much better than just I'm sat by myself watching one Pinterest video and then thinking I'll do this later.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Got my Pinterest set up, set my boards up. I've got all the basics in place now. Now it's when I've got time and the impetus to go and do some work on it, it's 10 minutes of work to get something in there, and I will do that. In a Saturday go working.
Just 10 minutes on Pinterest. I'm such a Pinterest fiend. I love it so much. I can spend hours on Pinterest, and I've got so many boards up on Pinterest, and I've had to make so many of them private, because it was so incoherent. I was just all over the place. I've got boards for everything, every idea, because I'm such a visual person, and also Pinterest is effectively the visual representation of my brain. It's exactly what
I don't want to see that.
I know, it's exactly what my brain's like. It's folders of thematic images. So my Pinterest is chaos. And I've had to hide 90% of it, and the amount that I've got that's public is a lot as well. So I can just spend hours and hours in Pinterest, which is not beneficial. I'm trying
I'm
to
a big
work it.
scroller for a specific project on my personal Pinterest. Like if I'm doing a room up in my house, or I want to, you know, look at like green lampshades, I
Oh,
will have a scroll on Pinterest. But
I
I was
feel
never
like
really using it
I'm like
professionally.
I can change my life with Pinterest person. I can change everything about myself if I just have the right pins in a board. I could do that forever, which is why I really need to turn that into something that's beneficial for me, which is what I'm trying to do, which is why I kind of stepped away, because I was like, oh, now I need to turn this into something that's a bit better. I'm using it for myself rather than my internal self. And I just thought, well, I'll just stop for a while. And I don't want to ruin the fun that I was having. So I'll go back to it at some point. And the document that you made for it, which I still have open on my computer, and it will live in the bashing day section in Discord. I think that will be a really helpful tool just to go back to many, many times for all the Pinterest stuff.
And I think that idea of bashing day is really like an unexpected. Like I know we planned it and we made it for ourselves, so like it should be a benefit, but like it's unexpectedly like really filling a hole in what I needed. Like it's sort of pushing you to do things that you know you need to do that are a bit bigger than just like to-do list stuff. And they're not necessarily like challenge week things, not like the bottom of my to-do list. It's more like conceptual things that could be enormous or could be 5 minutes, you don't know. Whereas like bashing day, it's a 3-hour session. You don't have to take the whole 3 hours. It's like a 3-hour session where it's like you're only looking at one topic and you're in communication about it. So we'll have breaks every 25 minutes to talk about what you've done. So you have to stay on topic. It feels like a sort of study group.
Yes, I was going to say that. It's like a study session.
Yeah. Which I think it's useful to have that separately to the Saturday co-working. Because Saturday co-working, I love Saturday co-working, but you can be doing anything in it, right? You can be, it's like bring whatever you're working on just to have some like, what's it called? Like body
doubling. Yes. Yeah.
I kept thinking like body work. I was like, it's not body work.
A bit of body work.
Have some body doubling. And I have started just like saving all my to-dos for that time and just seeing what I can squeeze in to 3 hours and like race through it. And it's all awful stuff that I don't want to do. And because it's the end of the month, this week was the end of the month, I had to do my bookkeeping. I do a download of my newsletter subscribers. I back up my computer, like just tedious things, as well as regular to-do list things. And I got so many things done. Like I booked the train to London that I've been meaning to forever. I filled in like a grant form. I just got so many things done that I didn't want to do. And it didn't feel like doing normal to-dos. It felt like this is sneaky time that isn't mine. It's co-working time. This is not my real life.
Yeah. Because I have always done big Saturday working days where I just take a good big chunk of time and do everything on Saturday, because I always write down things in my calendar, like do this on Monday, do this on Tuesday, and I just save it till Saturday. I just had started saving it to Saturday, just naturally. It's so much easier than trying to do it in between, like getting home from work and cooking dinner, maybe watching a bit of TV and like try to get some writing done. Like putting admin in there had started to feel like it was taking away from writing, and so I started
doing. But that's what I felt about like having it be in a daytime, because like daytime I'm full of energy, so I used to put my admin stuff like I'll do that after everything else, and then never would. It would move on a day and a day and a day. And it feels like I'm getting it done without that added guilt of like, oh, let me keep moving this on a day, this on a day. If I just know I've got 3 hours every Saturday, and everyone in the room is going to be there, and everyone in the room is going to be like, we're also doing something like and being productive. It's delightful.
And it has a little bit, I'm not saying that this is what it is, but it has got a competitive edge. It's like it's a competition with myself to see.
Well, like you don't want to let everyone down by not succeeding in the time.
Don't want to let people down. It feels like a little competition with time and yourself, and it's like crazy how much of a benefit it is, how different time feels, and it goes so fast. But it's crazy how the time that you are sat just looking at, or not even looking at the screen, because most of us are working on a different computer to the screen that's got the camera on it. So most of us are like facing a different direction. But you just know, you're very aware that there are other people there. And that is, and I know this is like the whole body doubling thing. I don't understand the psychology behind it, because it works so well.
Yeah.
It just, and we're not even doing the same thing. And
But
we
I think
come
it's
back,
like a human biology thing, right? It feels like we're working together. It feels like we're collaborating, and we're like building our resources together. Like we're harvesting grain for the winter. I think that's what like being in a group doing work brings out in us, is like that that evolutionary drive, even if we're all doing different things. So and I think, this, we're talking specifically about co-working here, and we're talking specifically about Bachelor Day before, but like really what we're talking about is when we're building a community, we have filled gaps that we need. So if you're doing the same thing, if you're building a community, like figure out what you will benefit from in your life, and there'll be other people who benefit from that. A bit like when you're thinking about like, what book should I write? Like, what book do you want to read? People are also wanting to read that. You are not unique.
Yes, I know. If there's one thing I've learned from the internet and from Instagram, is that I am the same as every single person. Like every single post I see, like, right, okay, so there's a lot of us out there that are very alike, basically the same person, but split up and scattered across the country or the world. Yeah, none of us are unique. We're all the same person, and that's nice. It's like it's the community, like then bringing like those people together it feels so good. I never thought that I would spend this much time like looking forward to going into Discord, and I really do. I love going in, and like I'll check in throughout the day and see, is there a new post? What people, I don't have notification turned on, so it's always a surprise. It's like, is there a new post? Leave me alone.
This stresses me out.
I had to turn all notifications off because I didn't want to keep looking at my phone, so I had to turn everything off. But so when I go into Discord, it's a surprise. It's like, oh, what treats are awaiting me? What posts have I not seen that I could like sneak in on conversations? It's such and I was saying before about the miscreants. Terrible. I hate saying it. Of that being like, maybe this is a millennial thing, but of feeling like that is a throwback to a better time on the internet. That's what community on Discord feels like. As a girl who spent a lot of time in chat rooms, but also just forums.
Inappropriate chat rooms and forums, yeah.
Inappropriate chat rooms and forums. Yeah, and making friends with strangers on the internet.
I don't know how we didn't get murdered. I should have been murdered many times in my life.
I don't know what I was doing, but it wasn't great. It was innocent, but it also could have gone horribly wrong. But it has
but
that
never
like,
on Discord.
Never on Discord. That's the thing. It feels like a safer, more up to date version of that time. So I really look forward to it. It feels like such a fun place to be, and I just love the layout of it and everything, but it's just it's like, and you can build a community to whatever you need it to be. So I really appreciate and I know we've talked about this a lot, but like our no stupid questions area, which feels like the safest place on the planet to be. And I also love, we have a wins and whinges section in our community. I love that,
because like so many comments are just like, I got this great thing today, and everyone's like, it's so good.
Hardly ever any whinges, but it's kind of like us when we're recording the podcast. We do sometimes have whinges, but I would say more often than not it's just wins.
Yeah, mostly wins.
And that's what it's like in the Discord as well. Is I think we have nurtured a culture to look for opportunities to celebrate, and if you were doing things on your own, you wouldn't celebrate these things. You wouldn't say, like, I went into the channel, into the room, whatever we're calling it, and said, like, oh, I put my book up for sale and I got a little flurry of sales, and like that's not a big deal. That's obviously like a normal thing to happen, but for me,
and if you told someone else about it, you'd have to explain like everything about the process.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'd be surprised, like, oh, don't you sell like 1 million books a day anyway? Like, no, don't ruin my joy.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like that's the point. It's like you're supposed to be selling books, but just having like a little bit extra for me was like, it made me feel so good, and I got to share that with people. And then it's just a place where you know that people will appreciate it and they'll understand the feeling. And even if it's a small win, it's good to celebrate it, because there are a lot of things that like don't feel like you can celebrate, because a lot of things feel like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. So when you get to a little bit of downhill, you get to like fist pump.
Yeah. And I think like what I really appreciate is like we have a free tier in the Discord, and we always win, like there's lots of channels in there, like the new super questions, like wins and whinges and resources, and whenever someone finds something useful they'll put it in there, and it's so active, and it's so many people like just having a little space to share. You don't have to be in there every day, you don't have to be in there regularly. Some people come in a few days and just catch up on everything, but it does feel like a little home and a little group, and I really like people making things of it that they want to. So like we set up a Friday Sprints channel that's a video channel, and it's really used for Friday in the Southern Hemisphere, on the other side of the world, where one of our members is, and it's Thursday night here. And then this week I was in it, so on Thursday night I was in the Friday Sprints channel, and there was someone in from Australia, New Zealand area, someone in from the kind of Americas area, and I was here in the UK, and then a second person joined from the American area, and it's like, it feels like we're so international.
We're
and
international,
see
baby.
each other. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like that's not something we've set up, and that's not something we have to set up. We just kind of want to build a community of people who are wanting like a small safe space, and I think there's things like Facebook groups on the internet that are just enormous, and you don't get to know people in there regularly. It's hard to filter comments and like hard to filter things. It takes a lot to build community on there. So I think it feels great for us that we've kind of maintained the free tier, having lots of chat in there. That on the paid tiers we've got really things that really work for us and hopefully work for other people. And obviously we're getting used to it. Some things we're sharing that we need to put in, we're putting in right at the end of the month, that we will hopefully be able to share earlier in the month on some things. But there's even one thing we haven't talked about, like we have a secret extra podcast for one of the tiers, and that was so much fun to record and share and have feedback on that. And at that tier, it's the Hilarious Genius tier. You can request what we talk about. You can request we talk about things that we've maybe said in the podcast before. You just want to know a bit more about our history of the pod or writing or whatever. It's nice for not everything in the podcast just to come from us in our heads, to get that feedback on what people want to talk about. And at higher tiers, we've got things like we'll form a mastermind group with people joining that tier, and have more in-depth conversations. So it feels really nice to have so many options, and that all of them feel like they keep adding to our experience. Like they're always a benefit to us and to other people, hopefully.
Yeah, it does. It feels like we've lucked out, but maybe like you just forget how much work you put into things. We're doing a lot of work because we are doing a lot of work, and we're putting a lot of ourselves out there. But the people that have come in to the community are like the right people. Yeah, and it's really like you're saying about people being all over the world. I was saying this to Brian the other day. It's like it's so nice to have friends now that I can chat with who are in America, or there's people in Australia and New Zealand, and like I know their names, and I see that when people are posting, you kind of start to keep up with what people are doing, and what they're working on. That's a really nice thing. Like the community is really just even though I am obviously top tier leader, I feel like both of us are like we're the leaders, but I feel included in it. I actually feel like we're obviously like, we're not really, even though we've created it, we're not like telling people what they need to be doing or anything. It feels nice to be, we've created this place, but we're all on the same level. And that's nice. There's no... And
it does feel like a good echo for books of just like, if you make the thing that works for you, it like there are people like you out there. So like we made this podcast that is ostensibly just for us. Like it's for us to be talking about our experiences and to be talking in real time about what's going well, what's going badly, and to have an accountability tool. And through that, we want to gather other people who are in a similar position and say, like, here's a thing for you to listen to. if you want to. Like, there's no obligation. We're not saying like we're not trying to sell anything to anybody. We're not trying to promote anything or say like we know everything. We're trying to say like, here's where we are. If you're also here, give it a listen. And I think we're trying to make community with the same experience of like, here's what we need. Probably you do too if you're at the same stage as us.
Yeah, and it has worked out that way. Everyone, it does. Even though there are people within the community at different levels of the career. So we have people who are making a living wage, and we have people like us who are still, trying to figure out how to increase our monthly income. And then we have people in the community as well who haven't started yet or are very, very much at the start. That doesn't matter. It's we're all, everyone has something to offer. So there's no hierarchy within like the members either. There's no one person who's like, oh, I'm doing so much better than you, because like with our no stupid questions and our wins and winches and stuff, you start to see actually we all have the same problems, just various levels, like different levels of them, but we're all struggling with the same things. So that's
someone's always heard about something you haven't heard about.
Yes,
because also that is often the thing in Facebook groups is like, if you're in it and a person who isn't necessarily making a lot of money, you feel like, who am I to give advice? What can I be saying about this? And, in all the bigger Facebook groups, there's just like, there's usually a bunch of chat, but everyone's just waiting for like one or two people to give an answer. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's what they've said. That's probably the truth. And then it doesn't feel like a community. It feels like a resource, a really useful resource, but there's you're not a part of it. You're an observer of it. I think we want to be something more participatory. So hopefully you've built that. And if you want something like that as well, hopefully this helps you figure out kind of what the thought process has been for us putting it together. And if you do want to join any level of our community, the link is in the show notes, the Discord. And there's a lot of content there for free. A lot of the channels are free, and the link is in the show notes to the coffee as well. If you want to join in the paid tiers, all the information in there about what you get for those. You can join just for a month, just see what it's like. It's just a rolling monthly basis, so lots of opportunity to join those. Do we have anything else we want to say about community building?
No, other than the fact that I remember when we first started talking about community, and I always felt like I had to find, and I still think this is important, but I always thought I had to find a community that was specific to my genre. And whilst I do think that is helpful, and I do have a small community that's just my genre, and I've actually just joined another one as well, which is more like fantasy witchy based. I know. I'm just discording all over the place. I haven't really put a lot of time in that, but I kind of always thought that I needed those things. I needed to be in genre-specific communities. But actually, I get so much from this community. And I'm like, there's not a lot of people within our community that are writing my genre, like in different various forms. There are fantasy writers. But it actually doesn't matter, because the business is the business. It doesn't, you don't have to, it's not all genre-specific. Like the genre-specific stuff is separate, but the community part is the most important part. And I have figured that out along the way, like, oh, this is the community I actually needed all along. Like the genre one I do need for maybe some other stuff, but it's not as important as I thought it was.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I have a really good genre-based community, and I still find a very general community helpful in like a very different and important way. So yeah, I would say I would have thought when I was getting started and setting things up that I want to really seek out people from my genre. But I think if anyone's thinking about setting up a community, go. It's more important to find people at your level and who think like you and who want to have the same experience as you than to find someone in your genre.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, find the right people first, and then grow from there.
Yes. Which we will be talking about more a bit in future, so we'll have a conversation ready to that soon. But that's not next week. Next week we are running a little book club, which I'm very excited about.
Yes.
We're both going to read Reclaim Your Author Career by C.L. Taylor, which is Claire Taylor. And I'll put a link in the show notes to that. Why are we discussing this?
Because we kind of are both at this point in our careers where we need to figure something out. There's a key thing missing. We're both looking to shift genres, and we're both looking to to figure out what's going on and level up. Yeah, so we thought it'd be a good time to do that and also read a book and force ourselves into having a conversation about it.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely one for reading like a business or a mindset book and then like assuming osmosis has magically made it into my all the way into my doing parts of my brain. But it just feels good to read those books, and then often I don't do anything about it. Whereas this one, when I started reading it, it felt like one where I really want to take some action points from it. And it's not an overly long or detailed book because it's based around the Enneagram, which is what Claire Taylor focuses on. So not all the book is relevant to you. So it should be quite a quick, easy read. And we also kind of just want to go through the process of like seeing how you can make better use of books like this and like seeing how you can actually make sure you're taking something away. So it's not necessarily that this book is the book that's going to change everything, but this book I think looks very useful and also is a good example of a book where we should be taking something away. Yes. So I said the link will be in the show notes. So if you want to also join our book group, but you can't talk to us about it on the podcast because we won't be able to hear you, but you can talk about it in Discord because we will be able to talk to you there or type to you, but don't shout into your phone. We can't hear. But we will metaphorically be listening. And we'll then, listen, it's a good excuse to join the Discord. It is, there's two similar books. So this one is the Reclaim. There's another one as well. It's got a similar title. So make sure you grab the right one if you want to be kind of listening along and joining the Discord talk along. And just see if you can take something away from it as well. So I said, link in the show notes to Discord, link in the show notes to the coffee, link in the show notes to anything significant we talked about today. I'll make sure that's in there, as it always is. Anything else you want to make sure we're mentioning?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, we will see you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode. And don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.